Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to finish off the model by creating an external concrete slab around this area outside the factory, and then we're going to edit the topography. We're going to do some graded regions to grade the topography down to the right levels. We've got the undulating natural topography at the moment, but we're going to do the earthworks to it and start moving that topography to the correct levels underneath the concrete slabs in all the different locations. So just to start off with first, I'd like you to create a concrete slab like the one that I've got highlighted here at the moment. I'll just go to factory floor level, and you can see the areas, the concrete slab that I'm highlighting here at the moment it is all the areas outside the building minus any landscaping. So you have to make allowance for landscaping in accordance with the town planning document. You will have done an assignment in construction class which will have identified the amount of landscaping that you needed to allocate. So you'll need to double check that. One of the best ways then, once you've decided on the landscaping, is probably to first of all draw a set of filled regions. What I've highlighted here at the moment is a filled region covering the areas that you think you could accommodate the landscaping with. Then you can just compare, right click and go to element properties, and then you can double check the area that you've created there. So the area that I've got up shown there is not adequate. I'll have to reshape these areas until I get the required amount of site area. The town planning document then will tell you what percentage of site area you need to allocate for landscaping. To check on what the site area is at the moment, you could do the mathematical calculations by getting the sketch handout and the dimensions of the site out, or the easier way is just select the property line, right click and have a look at the element properties, and you get a readout of the area. So once you know the area and you know what percentage of the site you need, you can just double check these areas, which I've got here up on factory floor at the moment just as a filled region, and I might even leave that filled region, but the original reason I did that at the moment was just so that I could check its area. Okay, so once you've created that filled region, you could probably then just create a whole concrete floor, and I'll just edit the boundary shape so you can see where I've gone to in this case. So right around the building there's a bit of landscaping outside the glass curtain wall, there's some landscaping inside these areas here. You'd have to match up with the ramp to the top of the ramp, so find where the top of the ramp is and match up to that point, and write out including some crossovers over the footpath area. Just assume that the footpath, we haven't got any further information, but just assume that the footpath is 6 metres wide. So then when you've finished the floor, what we'll need to do now is decide how we want to slope that floor. By the way, the floor properties that I wanted you to work with was, if I just go back into here and edit the boundary again, have a look at the floor properties before you lay out it. You'd want to do a 150mm slab on ground, 50 sand bed, and it needs to be 50mm below factory floor. Okay, so I'll just finish my floor there. Now that's put a flat concrete floor in for us. Obviously up the front in this landscaping area and outside the building, the concrete can't be flat. We'll need to slope the concrete to drainage areas to collect water for drainage reasons. So how you do that is you select the concrete, you select the floor. So I'll just select this floor here now, and then use this section, this shape editing section of the menu to, if you want to add points, that's going to then allow you to add a different elevation value with respect to the surface of the floor for the new point. So we could add some points possibly somewhere about where my cursor is at the moment, and then another one down here, and then make them pits that are lower than the rest of the slab, and then the rest of the slab could fall into those pits and collect water there. Now, to just also sort out the edges of the slab, what height all these points will be, we'll probably want to refer to the contours. So if I go back to, for argument's sake, the site plan, I can start making some decisions knowing that this contour that's going through the front of the property is the 99 metre contour. The rest of the slab also is 99 metres, but I'm going to want to fall down to a pit here, so we'll have a fall of water down in this direction. We also should fall the building away to this point here. So I'll just show you how you can do it to a couple of points, and then I'll let you make your decision for the rest of them. So if I select the floor and start doing the shape editing, I'll initially put a point in somewhere around about here, and just where you think might be a nice place to start to drain out into a pit drain. I think you need a number of them. Those 2 points there. Now that's not going to be the only drainage. We'll also run some covered spoon drains, some grated drains along possibly this edge, so that all the water coming out from the building can fall out to the side along here. And also, depending on what the levels are doing at these front points, we'll also have some graded drains possibly across the boundary here, if the falls of the slab are going in that direction. Okay, so bearing in mind that the normal slab is 50 millimetres below the factory floor, which brings the normal slab level down to RL 99 metres. Also, knowing that this contour running virtually through the front boundary is around about the 99 metre contour, that means that we'd probably leave that point running through there exactly at 99 metres, but I'd probably want to split it so that it falls down to this point here. We'd want this point here to be slightly lower, but then we need to bring it back up at this point here around about the boundary. So I might use the boundary as a starting point. To do that, we've already added points. The other thing you can do to change slab information is you can add split lines. So if I add a split line, somewhere around about the front boundary, and just split that line through there, that's going to allow me to have that line and its endpoints at a different RL than the rest of the slab, at a different level than the rest of the slab. And we'll probably want to do the same thing up here. So maybe from, once again, roughly on the boundary, straight through, that'll allow me to have a different RL at that point, different level at that point. If you escape, like I've just done, you'll have to select it, and to get back into editing mode, you just go modify sub-elements here and you're back into that editing mode. Now, let's have a look at a couple of things we can do. While we modify sub-elements, if you select this line, that's one thing you can do. You can change by clicking on the little text that pops up in the middle. You can change the relative level of the elevation of that whole line. So I'm going to suggest we need to do something like -50 to put a 50 millimetre fall from the side of the building out to that side line. Press enter. Now that automatically puts some split lines in where it needs to split to form some hip shapes to start sloping back up to that level. But I'd probably also want this line, I would suggest, to be -50 as well. But what's happened here is this end point is -50 because that line moved, but this end point we left the same. So basically what I want to do probably is just change this point here. I might have to put a window around it so I can select just that point and change the text there to -50 also. Okay, so automatically more lines are being created here. Now I'd need this point then to be left the same because that's around about where ground level is, and as we cross over the footpath, we'd have to get back to around about natural ground. So that point would have to be left the same. In light of no more survey information, I would probably start dropping this level here. But we'll just do a save at that point, and I'll stop the video, let you get your head around that and make some of those changes, and then we'll come back shortly.